Hi everyone, it's Kaya from Rainbow Reflections. Thank you so much for joining me today for our Leo season intuitive tarot and oracle reading. This year, 2026, Leo season will be taking place between July 22nd and August 22nd. Just a little bit of a signifier or significant transits that are going on this Leo season. We have Jupiter in Leo, which is the planet of luck, abundance, higher learning, philosophy, wisdom. It's a really beautiful planet. As a Sagittarius rising myself, I am ruled by Jupiter. I'm sorry if that doesn't make too much sense to a lot of people, but I'll try not to stay there for too long. Anyway, you can just make this Leo season quite profound, profitable, and a great time to explore and step outside of your comfort zone, as well as drawing in some personal success and abundance for yourself. It will also be taking place during eclipse season this year, so that is very exciting. Usually eclipses represent times of divine timing, a letting go of something from your past and a new door opening towards something transformative and maybe just outside of your comfort zone. So lots of really exciting stuff going on this Leo season, but let's get into the pickup piles. For pile number 1, it's going to be the Mystic Medleys Tarot, as well as this red Jasper little triangle boy. And just so you can kind of see what the deck looks like, oh, we picked a deck that is unique, or a card that is unique to this deck. So sad squirrel. Let's see, I'm gonna get another one. We have the Chariot here too, just so you can kind of see. It has a cute little Cuphead vibe to it. I adore this deck. All right. And then we have, for pile number 2, this Mookaite stone and the Splendor Solis Tarot, which has this gorgeous gold foil on it. But I figured since Leo is ruled by the sun, what better time to use it? So, we picked the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. For pile number 3, we have this little tiger's eye stone that looks kind of like Florida a little bit. That's just me. I don't know about you personally though. And then we have just the classic standard Rider-Waite tarot. For those of you who are wondering, this is just the moon card. In this deck specifically, which I've had this deck for a very, very long time, and I did not want to get rid of it or my bond to it. The moon card ran off on me, and I was like, the moon card would disappear on me like that. Okay. Then we have, I think this is like an orange calcite or aventurine stone. And then we have this is the Hermit, but I believe this is called, I'll drop it in the comments, or not the comments, the description, and the Sun here, the Hermit and the Sun. Oh, the name is slipping me, but I will leave it down in the description box below. But go ahead and jump down there, and you can pick out your timestamps if you just want to jump ahead, and we will get started. See you in your pile. Bye. Hi, pile number 1. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you picked the red Jasper and the Mystic Medleys Tarot, this is your group. For starters, we are going to get into your oracle cards to check out some of the energy prior to pulling the tarot. So let's see, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is getting into frame. We have the Mystic here. We have Joy. So you might have to pull this up. Impasse. I actually like to do that. We have assertion, health, collecting seeds, and the rogue. I will leave all of the oracle decks used in the description box below if you're curious or would like to purchase one of these decks for yourself. They are all amazing and have treated me with so much kindness and love. Okay, so let's get into your spread. For starters, I just want to say that whoever this message finds is one where maybe you have a creative career, maybe you are being called to go down a very unique and less traveled path. I feel like you are gaining such a strong passion, if you don't already have this already in Leo season, for some kind of service work, or just you have a very strong desire to make a positive impact on the world. And you may be struggling or dealing with currently a feeling of being rejected by maybe society, or people who may crave more stability or a more structured path, one that has already been walked. But for you, I feel like there is this very strong passion and willpower that you are stepping into right now. I just got an affirmation on my phone that says, I have the power to create healthy and positive habits. So with the health card coming out here, I feel like you will be tending a lot to your physical body, your holistic healing, as well as just like your mental, spiritual, physical health. Holistic healing could be something that's very important for you, but maybe that's something that doesn't really align with how other people find themselves the healthiest. Or maybe, I mean, shoot, man, America's healthcare system definitely ain't the best. I'll put it to you that way. The things that, you know, are given to us or suggested for us in terms of how we should take care of our physical bodies, our mental bodies, and our emotional or spiritual bodies aren't necessarily the things that are good for us or get to the root of the issue. And I feel like for you, there is a really deep desire to understand yourself and the world around you, and really get to the root of a lot of the issues in the world. And I feel like you have such a strong love and passion for wherever you're being called. Given this is a collective reading, so please take this as it resonates. I do feel like a lot of you are in some kind of service work. I have been personally getting this message of the best way to be of service to others is to be of service to yourself first. And not in a way that's necessarily like selfish or, you know, neglects other people, but we can only meet others so as far as we've met ourselves, right? And I feel like there's this energy here of like, maybe you are pouring into yourself at this time. It could be that you are dealing with some delays in your external environment, and spirit is really asking you to have some kind of tenacity or just willpower, discipline whenever it comes to achieving this goal or working towards closer fulfillment in this project. There's a need to trust your intuition, to follow what lights you up, to follow what makes you happy. I feel like that is going to be your strength in this time. And it even could be that through these struggles, you come into closer connection with yourself, and also learn more about the world around you and whoever it is that you're looking to serve. With this collecting seeds card coming out, this does talk about that, like, a growing season is coming to an end. Like, you're very close to achieving a goal, but there's like a little bit of a refinement period that you're in right now. So you're much closer than you realize. Maybe Virgo season or Aries season is a significant time for you, with the sun in Aries and the sun in Virgo coming out. You could have your natal sun in the 1st house or in the 6th house. But it does seem that you are going on a self-exploration that in turn will help you to be of service to other people. I feel like you are very, very passionate, and whatever it is, there's another thing that I say all the time, you know, if you're supposed to be walking a path or supposed to be doing something that's never been done before, you're gonna have a really hard time getting any kind of external validation, any kind of help that is outside of yourself. So it could be helpful for you to do some kind of meditation, journaling, something like that, in order to more deeply understand where spirit is pulling you at this time. I do feel like there's a deep connection to your intuition that you're gaining, as well as just a deepening of your faith, because spirit is putting you into this time of uncertainty. I do feel like it's not like you have that far to go in terms of whatever it is that you're doing. I just think that this is like the boss battle, if that makes sense, before you move into this next chapter. But that does make sense with the solar eclipse coming up this, I think it's on the new moon. I'm not exactly sure of those dates, but I will be doing another reading on that once the time comes around. But yeah, really listen to wherever you are being called right now, especially with this Rogue card coming out. Now, this card comes from the Wealthy Woman deck. Obviously, this is a gender neutral card, but it's just the Wealthy Woman deck. And it specifically talks about how you make money or receive your abundance. So I do feel like there is like an element of work or anything that you're receiving. Like, I really feel like you're doing something that's never been done before, and it's supposed to be something that you're doing for your career. So if all of this resonates with you and seems like this is coming up, we're going to be getting into the tarot now. Let me go ahead and wipe this away, and we will start pulling your tarot. I really love energy like this. It's just like so stark and unique, but it makes a lot of sense with it being on that the Leo Aquarius axis. You know, if Leo is the standard, the king, the energy that everyone looks up to, and Aquarius is the people, or what makes us unique or different, that axis really does require you to oscillate between the self and humanity. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Spirits, angels, ancestors within my pile, number one's highest good and healing only. I ask that you deliver some guidance about this Leo season. What can they expect? What would be a general theme for this Leo season? What's being highlighted here? Interesting. We have the Three of Swords in reverse. Can I get a clarifier for the Three of Swords, please? We have the Page of Pentacles. All right. Ooh, the sun is on the bottom here. All right. We have the Empress. Wow, wow, wee, wah. Can I get a clarifier for the Empress? Oh, I have a couple of cards. The Emperor in reverse. That's interesting. I'm called to just do like this. And Justice. Wow. Okay. And then on the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, let's see if we can make this all fit into the frame here. Forgive me, I'm a suckler for a spread. A suckler, I don't even know. Sorry, I like coming up with my own words. Me and you, pile number one, have a thing or two in common, it seems. Both on our own unique individual path. Okay. All right. So I feel like, just to go a little bit more in depth, again, this opportunity that's coming through, it may be that this is something that brings you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and in turn is allowing you to release a lot of pain, fear, doubt. It could just be a very a very healing hobby or path that you're walking, and it's one where you can make quite a bit of gain in return. I didn't realize that all of these were not in yet. I apologize. There we go. Okay. I think it's something that truly makes you happy in a way that heals you to your core. I think it's also, with the Four of Wands being on the bottom here, it is something that is worth celebrating and will bring you a lot of stability. Fours are the number of stability. And this is coming through in a way that brings inner stability first. But it's also something that requires you to have a lot of self-autonomy, self-authority, self-trust. I think you know your worth. You know that you have something really valuable to offer here, and it's something that would be of great service to the world around you. And it seems like you're learning how to not listen to societal narratives, especially if you have somebody or wounds or a inner critic, but maybe wounds around people not believing in you, being too harsh, too cutthroat, too cold, and just overall like not giving you positive reinforcement whenever it comes to choosing a life for yourself that you know would make you very, very happy. This is not something, again, that has a lot of structure to it, and it may be something that you kind of have to plant seeds and see how it goes, and plant seeds and see how it goes. There's something here about working with the cycles of nature, or like maybe some of you practice paganism or follow the pagan Sabbats, or draw a lot of inspiration from nature, or just find a resonance there. But I really feel like Spirit is wanting you to trust yourself, to trust your intuition, and not listen to fear, to not people please, because if you continue to listen to your inner guidance and inner voice, it will be something where you kind of reap what you sow. And that's in both ways. I feel like if you don't follow this, it's going to be like, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen, obviously, but I do feel intuitively that this would be something that you would kind of be kicking yourself for the rest of your life, because you feel so strongly about it, and because there is so much significance for you. Like, I really just feel like this resonates with you on such a deep level. And it helps you to recognize your value and recognize your worth. I do feel like it would require you to ask for assistance, or and maybe this is more so in like a spiritual assistance. Let me see. I want to pull some cards specifically on that. What assistance? Okay. So we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse coming out. Interesting. The Ace of Cups. The Four of Swords. And the Queen of Wands here. Maybe in the past, you have had to rely on other people for help, and it has come at the cost of your own emotional security. Or maybe you just feel like you've worked yourself so hard that there was this emotional unrest in you. But I really feel like if you are confident in yourself and you just choose not to worry, you choose not to stress, because stressing about the unknown is not going to make things necessarily easier for you. There's a need to slow down and maybe even step into your feminine energy to await inspired action. And yeah, I really do feel like this is, this is talking more so about divine guidance and trusting that Spirit is pulling you. Like, there's a risk here. But Spirit is really wanting you to be confident in yourself and know that this vision, this dream of yours would not have been given to you for a reason. You have a lot to offer, despite what your fears may tell you. And it may, whatever you're offering, I feel like there's not anything necessarily material behind it. This could be a creative gift. Like maybe you're a singer, an artist. I want to get a few more clarifiers here. Okay. So we have the Magician in the reverse, the World, and the Four of Pentacles. So whatever it is, Spirit is wanting you to really focus on affirmations, focusing on the positive, looking back at how far you come, recognizing that you have everything you need within you. This is not going to be a logical story. This is going to be one that requires a lot of luck. And I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, you may be in a financially difficult situation right now. And there may be a need to be a little bit frugal. But Spirit doesn't want you to make decisions rooted in fear. Like, you can have both. There can be a balance here of being frugal and still following your dreams, even though they aren't necessarily logical. You have to be able to believe in yourself when nobody else does. And I promise you that there's going to be some kind of success and achievement that comes out of this. Let's see, can I get a little bit more guidance here? We have the King of Wands in reverse. The Star. The Star is also associated with Aquarius energy. And Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. There's this acknowledgement that, you know, whatever you have been doing in the past really wasn't authentically aligned with you. Spirit really wants you to be hopeful for this new thing. And it's like, I feel like maybe you were burnt out, or very apathetic towards life and whatever it is that you were doing before. And there is a call to examine your values. It's like you can either go down this safe path that you've always gone down before, and you know what kind of suffering, you know what kind of discomfort you're going to get going down that path. But if you choose to be optimistic, to be hopeful for wherever it is you're going, and it's like I feel like there's this energy of like you're barely kind of getting by as is. Something has to change here, and it's like you're going down the safe, air quotations, path and barely getting by. So to take a chance on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, the payout is going to be very rewarding. Just want to get a few more clarifiers here. I keep seeing the Four of Wands, which talks about celebration, success, achievement, stability. We have Judgment coming out in reverse. You may be healing some visibility wounds right now. Allow yourself to be seen. It's time for you to wake up to the call. You can't continue to ignore this anymore. This dream, this vision, yeah. Thank you, the Sun. This dream and this vision was not given to you for no reason. It's time for you to shine. And like, I really love this because like the Sun is associated with Leo energy as well. Well, it's really associated with the Sun. But the Sun is the planetary ruler of Leo, and whenever the Sun travels into Leo season, yeah, it just finds its home there. We have the Eight of Swords on the bottom here, so yeah, I really just feel like there's a lot of stress about other people and how they are going to perceive you in this. But you can go your whole life pretending to be somebody you are not, and you're still not going to make everybody happy. Or you can choose to unabashedly put yourself out there, and the people who get it will get it. And the people who don't like you, you know, yeah, they really won't like you. But I mean, dude, if you're following your heart and you're just doing what makes you happy, like there's nothing wrong with that. And I understand that there can be fears of people being judgmental or critical of you. But I really feel like that you're such a powerful and loving mirror to so many people, and you have such a gift to offer people, whether they realize it or not. Please don't give up on yourself. You are doing amazing. Your inner child really wants to come through and take charge of the situation, and just, again, continue to follow what lights you up. Continue to go down the path that makes you the happiest, because happiness is valuable. This material success and security, sure, if you value that, that's great. That's great. If you really think that's going to make you happy. But I feel like you've already tried that, and it's like you've been burnt out anyway. I feel called to read the Joy card, which is associated with the solar plexus chakra. So we got Dancing Daisy. We don't know much about Dancing Daisy, but we do know that she brings joy wherever she appears. Everyone who sees her becomes happier and more peaceful. Arguments cease as she comes close. People are even healed physically as a result of her presence. No one knows where she came from, and just before the TV crew arrives, she leaves. Dancing Daisy represents a joyous phase in life and a significant change, such as a move, a new job, or a marriage. This is a moment after the leap. You may not see where you were going, but you will land on your feet. Yes! Okay, this is just like super confirmation. I have rarely tapped into this, the Wisdom of the Chakra Oracle guidebook, but I feel like that just kind of clarifies everything that I said of like, you have, even if you don't feel like you have a lot to offer materially, it is your energy that is so effing valuable to people. I would cuss, but I don't want to get flagged on the tube. Yeah, you have such a unique and radiant presence that the world freaking needs. People need to see your light. People need to see your happiness. You have such a beautiful and powerful gift to share with the world. And yes, you may not know where life is taking you, but you will land on your feet. The universe will catch you. So jump. There's a lot of fire in this. In the cards that we pulled the Star, or the Sun, the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands. What else? Maybe that's just what I was seeing here. Yeah, that's probably just what I was seeing here. But we've got both of the cards in the tarot with sunflowers. So sunflowers may be a sign for you. And then even on this, the collecting seeds, this is from the Lammas Seasons of the Witch Oracle. There's sunflowers all around it. Lammas is on August 1st, so August 1st may be a significant date or time for you, but I really feel like there is this really beautiful happiness that is entering your life and emotional fulfillment, and I'm very, very excited for you, pile number one, and thank you so much for joining me today. I know the cards ended up looking a little bit messy, as the end of my readings always do, but I appreciate you so much. If you have any Leo placements, feel free to drop them in the comments, or, you know, if this resonated. If this didn't resonate, I would love to hear about what path you're going down. Maybe we can start a little community in the comments section. Leave me a like, subscribe, all the things. Thank you so much, pile number one. Bye. Hi, pile two. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you picked the Mookaite stone as well as the Splendor Solis tarot, this is your reading. We're going to be starting by looking at your oracle cards. So for starters, we have the Self, very on brand for Leo season. I'm trying to get as good of a frame as I possibly can. We have the Moon in Leo, how fitting, and Leo Venus, appreciation and affair. Isn't that funny? I thought so. Okay. We have Vanity, and Prayer coming out. Next, we have prosperous overflow. And last, we have collecting seeds. Let's see if this is all in there. All right, I'm trying to get this as best in as I can. Okay. Very interesting spread for you, pile 2. For starters, if you were drawn to pile number 1, they also got the collecting seeds card, so there may be a message in there for you. There is a lot of themes for you this Leo season about self-awareness, observing how you engage with other people, as well as your relationship to validation. You may be entering a very abundant and selfish time in your life. Now, I don't mean selfish in a way that's necessarily bad. I don't mean selfish in a way that is selfish. I don't think that there's anything wrong with being focused on yourself and your dreams. However, in this group, I do feel like Leo season is showing you how maybe your ego flares up or may have an addictive relationship to recognition and attention from other people. And I don't mean this to shame any of you, and I don't think spirit means it to shame any of you. It's just an outgrowing of old processes that used to keep us safe. They served us for a certain amount of time in our life, and Leo is all about the self. Leo is our relationship to our ego. It is ruled by the sun, which it's funny because, I mean, you literally chose the most radiant deck, right? Which was not an accident. I wanted that deck to be in here. So this Leo season is all about you. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that this pile necessarily thinks that it's a bad thing either. However, there could be a bottomless pit of recognition, validation, material, or even just like abundance I'm getting that is never enough. And this Leo season, you are getting to the root of why this is never enough. I feel like for this collective, there is a sense of creativity, and like maybe for some of you, you make money in some kind of creative or just a career that highlights you. You get to be very authentic in your day-to-day life, and you receive a lot of recognition because of it. You shine and excel at whatever it is you do. And I do feel like because of this, you're gaining a lot of confidence. But on the other side of that coin, because you're gaining so much confidence in yourself, you're being faced with the wounds that are lying in your solar plexus, that are lying in your throat chakra, and helping you to heal and release these things. And this may feel like a humbling transition of time, and Spirit is not trying to do this to be like, oh my God, you're so conceited, you're just the most selfish piece of garbage ever. No, this stuff has always been in you prior to you stepping into this confidence. You're not all of a sudden getting a big ego and a big head. I think comparison And validation is being highlighted here, and a wound of needing it or feeling it. And I'm not saying that you're the most judgmental person around. This is a very, very common wound. I think I saw this thing a while ago that was like, if you're comparing yourself to people who are above you, or like air quotes above you, or have something that you want, you view as a higher than you, then it's likely that you are comparing yourself to people that you view as lower or have less success or achievement. And so comparison, just in general, can be something that is unhealthy for you. And I feel like because you're stepping into this time of success, recognition, and achievement, you are actually developing an inner sense of security and confidence in your direction in life. And there is a sense of refinement that Spirit is wanting you to let go of, or there's a sense of refinement and Spirit is wanting you to let go of these wounds. These wounds are coming up to be healed, processed, and released. And instead of viewing yourself as separate from the world around you, seeing the beautiful role that you play in the kind of machine of life. Now, obviously, life is much more complicated than that. But there's a sense that, like, well, a performer needs the crowd to perform, kind of. And the people need the performer to be entertained. And obviously need is not a valid word here, but is seeing and honoring the exchange between the self and the world around you, seeing yourself as part of the soup of life, honoring your ingredient that you bring to the soup. It's like if you're in a bowl, if life is chicken noodle soup, you're chicken. And obviously, you may be the star of the show. But if you didn't have the spices, if you didn't have the carrots and the noodles or whatever you put in your chicken noodle soup, then it would just be chicken. And now, I'm not saying you're just chicken. Obviously, you're the star of the show. But enjoy the chicken noodle soup and all the other pieces that are a part of the chicken noodle soup. Don't get so focused on your path that you forget where you came from. And I don't think that you necessarily are. These may just be lessons that Spirit is bringing to your attention, or reminders that you may be, like, Spirit wants to humble you now so that you don't embarrass yourself later down the road. Take that if it resonates. It might not. We're going to pull some tarot cards now with the Splendor Solis Tarot to get a little bit more confirmation, a little bit more clarity on what Spirit is trying to convey with you guys. So let me go ahead and put these cards back. Okay. Let's hop into the tarot. Put my Mookaite guy over here. Okay. Spirits, angels, ancestors within my pile number 2's highest good and healing only. Can we get a little bit more guidance on what this Leo season is going to be bringing up for them? Any lessons? We have the 9 of Swords here in reverse. We have the Emperor the King of Wands. Period. I'm so sorry. Period. Do you guys like when I stem into readings? Leave a like below if you like when I stem into readings. Okay. One more piece. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, let's make sure everything's in there. These cards are much more big and hefty than my other ones. You guys chose the biggest cards. The biggest cards, the biggest deck. And look at the edges. They're so beautiful. Okay. Can I get a clarifier for the Nine of Swords in reverse? Yeah, the Seven of Swords. The Emperor. The Lovers in reverse. Mountain. Okay. King of Wands. I wonder if some of y'all are like comedians or something like that. Okay, so for we have a couple of cards coming out. So we have Seven of Cups, Three of Cups, Five of Swords. And clarifier for the Four of Pentacles, please. The Three of Swords in reverse. And can I get one card for the underlying energy of this reading, please? Well, we got two. So we got the Tower in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles upright. Okay. Let's put that over there. Okay, so for you pile number 2, Spirit is acknowledging that like this reading may be creating some anxiety for you. And Spirit really does not want you to stress out or think that you're going to act out of character or out of hand. And in fact, this may be much more of an internal processing than one of external world. Again, going back to the energy of the self, I feel like we are exploring your relationship to you and your relationship to the outside world. All of this is internal. You have every right and every reason to trust yourself and know that like you are the shit. Like you are that bitch, bro. And I am not trying to humble you by any way, shape, or form. There may just be ways of fear that your ego likes to sneak into yourself. Like maybe this has to do with your friends. This could be with the people that you love in your life. And thinking that because you have success, that people are going to be out to get you. Yeah, there's a protection from the past that served you, and the place that you are in now may be dredging up some old wounds that were caused by people taking what you have or slandering you because they were jealous of you. And I do feel like that part of you may be getting activated this Leo season because you are like, you have built so much for yourself. You have done so much work to get to the place you are now, I feel like truthfully there's not a lot that can stop you. Like all of these reasons that you, and I think you know this, but I think also the tricky thing about the ego is it can make it to where it turns our back on people who we know and love. And I do feel like this is in the friend group that you have. And maybe creating some conflict, but maybe some of this conflict is very, very valid. And maybe you're triggering other people right now. And if that is the case, I don't necessarily feel like this is like super personal. Like, yes, it is creating conflict and tension. But maybe there's a need to realize that like other people have wounds as well. And not saying that you don't, but there may be a little bit of like a wound sandwich going on here. And I don't feel like what happened to you previously is going to be brought up again. I do want to get a clarifier for this Lovers in reverse. Can I get a clarifier for the Lovers in reverse? We have Strength in reverse. Okay, yeah. That definitely checks out. And then we have Page of Wands on the bottom. Yeah. Your ego may be jumping to conclusions right now. And that, or whenever Leo season comes up. And that's okay. Like the Strength card is associated with the zodiac sign Leo, which I think is so fitting, and I really, really appreciate it coming to light. Spirit is this may be a little bit of a triggering or a difficult message, so I do apologize, and I don't mean this to shame any of you, and this is rooted in so much love for you, and I hope that throughout this growth you have so much compassion for yourself, because whatever it is that you are healing or working through is fucking hard. This is not something easy that you are facing. This is something that your ego really wants to keep you safe. It wants to protect you, and it doesn't want to be hurt in the way that past people or situations have hurt you before. And that is so fair, and that is so valid, and Spirit really wants you to know that it's okay that your brain is doing this right now. The reason it is coming up is because you are healing beyond this. The way out of this is through it. Can I get a little bit more clarifiers here? Yeah, we have the Nine of Wands. I want to kind of edit this a little bit. The Three of Wands in reverse. The High Priestess in reverse. Let me scooch this mess on over. Sorry, it's gonna get sloppy towards the end, you guys. Just gotta forgive me. And the Empress in reverse. Okay. A helpful guidance for you is that whenever you feel like you cannot control your emotions and how you respond to things, if you feel very overwhelmed and clouded with anxiety, anger, burnout. Spirit is advising you to take some time for yourself. We do have the Hermit on the bottom, which is about taking some time to reconnect to your inner world and your inner guidance. And specifically in this one, and I don't know why that is, but there's like a chopped up man in there. Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag me for that. But your fears are making it really difficult for you to see clearly. So taking a moment to step back, to reconnect to the self. And maybe this is like really tying this whole message in, so that you can examine where these wounds really lie. It could be that in the past, or really even now, you've struggled with codependency. You've struggled with the need for other people to see your point of view. And Spirit wants you to become your own validator in that. Not everybody is going to understand it immediately. And in fact, they may be dealing with a little bit of their own woundings whenever it comes to validation for their perspective. There's a need to let go of a win-lose mentality. And this is some pretty deep and serious work. And I think this is a wound that really keeps you stuck in the past. But I feel like this may be one that's kind of a tiring wound to work through. However, it is one where I feel like you are just so done with the way that it has been affecting you. And it is one that is ready to be let go of. So this Leo season, I do feel like you will be conquering that. You will be conquering your ego and taking your power back. And also understanding where you give your power away to other people for the need of their validation. Can I get a last little piece of advice, Spirit? What else? Okay, we have the King of Swords, the Ten of Cups. Oh, can I have one more card here, please? Last little piece of advice for this Leo season. Within their highest good and healing only, please only deliver a message that is rooted in love. Oh, so many coming out, man. So many coming out. Apparently, Spirit's got a lot to say. Okay, Nine of Cups. Yeah. The Devil. The Six of Pentacles. And the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay. All right. Yeah, this definitely ties up some loose ends. And then, yeah, we have Six of Cups on the bottom. Okay, I'll get into that. Sorry. I know some of you don't understand what that means. Okay, so for starters, Spirit is wanting you to act very logically during this time, to understand where past fears are being projected onto current situations, as well as realizing the abundance that you do have around you, because there is quite a bit of it, especially on the emotional front. And this is likely why this is triggering you so deeply, because there is true love between you and the other parties here. This is something that you have manifested into your life, and it is likely that this is a prayer answered for you. This is a really beautiful connection that you have with either this person or the people around you. I am getting friends more so, especially since we have Three of Cups coming out. We have the Devil here, which talks about our attachments, codependency, where we let the material get in the way of our inner divinity. Then we have Six of Pentacles, so I do feel like there is an equal give and take. And then we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, which talks about resisting to walk away from things that aren't serving you anymore. And then on the bottom with the Six of Cups here, the Six of Cups talks about the past and inner child and just past things being projected onto current things. It could be that whatever the situation is, it is reminding you of a time in your past where you did get hurt. But I am here to tell you that this is not the same situation, and you're entering a very favorable time in your life. If you need to set boundaries, if you need to communicate with your close and sacred people, they love you. They also understand and realize that you're the shit. So, yeah. Thank you so much, pile number 2, for sticking around. Remember that you are that bitch, gender neutral. And I love you very, very much. Have a great rest of your day. I love you. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Leo season. Pick a pile. If you chose this Florida looking at Tiger Stone, and the Rider-Waite tarot deck, this is your reading. For starters, we are going to get into some oracle cards that I selected for you guys off camera. For the first one, which you got 2, no other pile in 1 or 2 got it. I can't speak for file number 4 because it hasn't been recorded yet, but you got the gem and you got the underworld. Very interesting combo here. Gotta say, I really love it. I'm very excited to get into your reading. Intuitively, I feel like you're going through some pretty powerful self-expansions. Okay, next we pulled Prosperous Overflow, which we picked this card in the pile number 2, the pile before this one too. So if you feel called to pile number 2, maybe there's a message in there for you as well. We got Fruit Trees. I'm gonna try to get this as inlined and in shape as I possibly can. I think I'm gonna do like that. Yeah. Sick. Okay. We got Victim. And Destiny. And then last, we got Bluff. And Publicity. With Jupiter and Leo. Both of you guys got, or both of the Radiant Oracle of the Sun. I think that, no, it's the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. For both of them, you got Jupiter cards. So Jupiter in Gemini and Jupiter in Leo, which I find very, very interesting because one of the biggest highlights for this Leo season is the transit of Jupiter in Leo. And I'm very, very excited for this personally. But how this is showing up for you guys is quite fascinating. I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be doing some pretty deep shadow work. It may be that some of you are having a hard time stepping out of the past. I'm really getting that for some of you, you've had some pretty traumatic upbringings and you've done so much work to get to where you are now. And it could be that one of the biggest wounds that you're facing is one of an imposter syndrome, or feeling like life is going to pull the rug out from underneath you or trick you in some way, shape, or form. I do feel like you're entering a pretty positive time in your life. I feel like you're already in a really positive time in your life. And in fact, it's this positivity that is giving you this space to step outside of survival and have more faith in the goodness to come. I am feeling called to read from the guidebook for the Oracle of the Radiant Sun because it does have this Leo Jupiter transit. And I just feel called to. So sometimes reading from the book is just the best thing I could do for you guys. Okay. In order for Jupiter Leos to develop and grow, they constantly need to find themselves in situations in which they can put on an impressive show. Jupiter Leos think bigger than most, and so have to take the lead if they want to get things done. Local events that need creative imagination and lavish ideas are waiting for their special talents. Plenty of socializing gives people with this planet sign combination ample chance to radiate their natural warmth, but if they can find a creative job, then this is so much better. Their creativity finds good opportunity for appreciation in any of the arts. Their talents, whether professional or amateur, grow as they mature. With this placing of Jupiter, gambling will be a temptation, and some discipline may be useful to rein in over-optimism in this area. The children of Jupiter Leos, if they have any, are likely to be a great source of pride, and the parents will spare no expense on their education. There is likely to be at least one creative talent or one creativity, talented, and successful offspring. I apologize, I read that a little bit weird. Because of the Leo link with children, when this card is drawn in a reading, it can indicate the encouragement of a child and creative expression of their talents. This can manifest negatively as the archetypal of over-pushy mother of a child star, living out her fantasies of fame through her prodigy. Positively, it can refer to a nurturing or supportive parent. Some events would be blowing one's own trumpet, the attraction of some kind of fame or attention, taking a leading role in a local activity, a prominent member of the church or a similar organization. So, that being said, I feel like some of you are really stepping into the limelight at this time, and because you are stepping into the limelight and you're kind of on a new level, you've transcended past some really harsh stuff. I feel like Spirit's kind of giving this as above, so below type energy. And yeah, if you are drawn to pile number 2, I would really recommend going and checking that one out. Spirit loves you so very much. And also, if you don't understand this already, you are the shit. You are a really powerful and beautiful person, and you have done so much work to get to where you are. For this group, I don't necessarily know if you see yourself accurately. Again, I get this feeling that you have a little bit of imposter syndrome, that you have a hard time seeing how far you've come and really recognizing all the work that you have done to get to this point. I'm taking a sip of my coffee. Give me one moment. And because of this, you could be facing a lot of fears, a lot of doubt, a lot of worry for what people may be thinking of you. It could be that you're on the cusp of really beautiful and great change, but there could be a sense that you're kind of projecting a lot of the fears that you're having onto other people, or that your shadow is just being highlighted at this time. And the reason that this is coming up is so it can be healed and processed. And Spirit doesn't want you to face a situation where you're in the limelight or in the public eye in some way, shape, or form, or even in a leadership role, if you haven't healed this visibility wound or this insecurity wound within yourself. I am going to pop over to the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck. I also would like to read for this Destiny card. Black and white are in heaven, waiting to go to earth, yet again to complete their work. When they meet and fall in love, they learn that they will not be together on earth. In previous lives, their love was ill-fated. They appeal to the council of great spirits who turn down their request to be together. But the great servant appears and grants their wish. Together, they accomplish greater things that they could have done alone. Take a risk. Dare to have your life the way you decide. Are you willing to make sacrifices to have what you desire? So there may be this, I really like with the black and the white here, and then the gem, and then the underworld, because the gem is a pretty positive card, and then the underworld being such like a contrasting card, and black and white being complete opposites here. I think there's a fusion of this energy, and it is helping you not only, one, to take other people off of a pedestal and see yourself as more of a human, but just removing the pedestal altogether. Every single person that you idealize or even criticize is on the same level as you. It's interesting. The levels keep coming up. And in that levels, it's more of like a horizontal wax and wane instead of a vertical high and low. It's interesting. There could be some conflict going around you at this time. Maybe you feel the need to assert yourself in it. It could be that, especially if some of your wounds are around taking responsibility for other people's work. And by work, I mean healing, feeling responsible for other people's happiness, that you may be asserting yourself into their drama, maybe making it about you. And while this may be happening, Spirit does want to also say, like, this is coming up to be healed and released. It's not something that, like, Spirit is trying to shame you for, but more so just bring to your attention. But this Fruit Trees card coming out, it says, don't miss what is right in front of you. Everything is as it should be. Yeah, and I think that, again, just highlights, like, the divine timing of what's going on here. I feel like this season is teaching you a lot about self-awareness, the way that you communicate and your mental processing. Allow people to come to you instead of feeling the need to interject yourself into other people's responsibilities, because you have a lot going on as is. You have so many things that you're working towards. You have your mind in so many different places as is. You don't need to pick up on other people's BS. And I say BS as, like, I don't mean that to be judgmental, but it's like you need to focus on your direction. And if people ask for your assistance, that's a great time, but there's no need in stressing over situations that you can't control, because you already have so much to be grateful for. You already have so much goodness going on in your life. And another thing that I'm kind of noticing here is that there's this kid right in the background reaching up, and there's this older man sitting with like a basket of oranges. And I feel like this is kind of what you've harvested over here, and you have all this wisdom and all these lessons, but like you can't make these other people see what you've done. And in fact, you may be disrupting their process if you try to interject yourself into their situation. All you can do is lead by example. Words really aren't going to get you anywhere here. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about that so far, and I would love to jump into the tarot just to get a little deeper into this. I want to see what guidance Spirit may have for you, what other messages Spirit may have for you. You may be some kind of spiritual leader, teacher. Maybe some of you are teachers, or this could even have to do with family and not interjecting yourself into your family. All right, let's get this, the floater stone. I love this floater stone. She's so pretty. Okay. Shout out to all the Floridians. I fucking love Florida. Pardon my French, but if there's Floridians on here, I know y'all cuss for a fact. Okay. Spirit, angels, ancestors, within the highest good and healing only of my pile number 3. 3s. What guidance can you offer? Ooh. What lessons? We have the Page of Swords in reverse. The Hermit in reverse. What else? The Wheel of Fortune. And this card's ruled by Jupiter too. You got to see wherever Jupiter is transiting. If you know your rising sign, and you don't know how to find whatever house Jupiter is transiting for you, you can either look it up, or if you leave it in the comments, I will answer it for you. Leave me a picture of your chart or something. I got you. Okay. Let's see. One more here. Thank you. And then we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Lovely. Okay. Can I have a clarifier for the Page of Swords, Spirit? Please. Drink man, please. I'm thirsty. I need to pull up. Thank you. We have the 5 of Cups. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just, things are clocking. They're making sense. I'm tracking, Spirit. Okay. The Hermit in reverse. Got the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Can I have a clarifier for the Wheel of Fortune? Yeah. Come on, dog. Let's get it. And the Queen of Cups in reverse. 6 of Cups in reverse. Thank you. All of this was so lovely and so direct for what Spirit was trying to tell me. Okay. We have the 9 of Pentacles on the bottom. All right. Biotis. All right. So, yeah. Big themes here is focusing on the bad. And with the Page of Swords coming out, I like so many overthinkers in this pile. Again, no need to shame, because like the trauma is there. The trauma is so real, and I just want to give you a big old snuggly wuggly hug and tell your brain to fucking knock it off, because your brain is being absolutely mean to you right now. Now, in order to confront the brain here, be very compassionate with her, him, her, they, them, whatever. Invite them in for a cup of tea. You know, what's going on? Ask them about themselves. One of my favorite analogies to use, especially if you have a hard time stepping out of yourself, which is I feel like this pile does struggle with, is imagining that a random stranger, or me, hi, I'm you, or I'm not you, I'm not you, I'm not you, I'm not you. So I come up to you and I'm like, hey, pile number 3, I've gone through so much stuff, and it's making it hard for me to trust that good things in my life can happen. It makes it to where I have a hard time moving on from the past, and I am in a perpetual state of anxiety, fear because of it. Oh, so much razzle dazzle going on. I heard a bunch of people screaming. I think there's something going on outside, but that's okay. Maybe there's a lot of commotion going on, maybe there's a lot of commotion going on around you that you cannot understand quite yet. Spirit would like for you to remove yourself from the situation so that you can dissect this, because I feel like you are in a really great and positive energy right now, and however the situation is going to turn out, it is for the best. Spirit is trying to teach you to accept good things into your life, to change your mindset from always focusing on the negative, and look at how far you've come, how much you've grown, how much you have achieved in your life, and note that that situation literally cannot ever repeat again. You may be operating from a place of insecurity, and you need to ask yourself, if I wasn't me, how would I respond to somebody who is asking me for help? Because I think instead of interjecting onto other people's stuff, especially if they don't want your help, one of the most compassionate things you can do for yourself is ask yourself for help. Because I think you have a lot of the guidance and the wisdom that you need within you. And this is one of those situations where Spirit does want you to detach and to lean on them for help. Ask Spirit for guidance. Thinking back to that Destiny card that we were reading earlier, I think there's a need to step outside of your comfort zone. If you're somebody who's very passionate about their family, close friends, all of that kind of stuff, I don't think that this is going to be a situation where you need to remove yourself so that you can focus on you and your situation. Because right now it's you that's suffering. It's you that's going through all the hardship. And not saying that other people aren't going through the hardship. It's just, they maybe don't want your help right now. And maybe if you were to lead by example, they could see that there were other ways to do it. Not that I'm saying that you should attach yourself and your worth to those things. I'm definitely not saying that. But there's a lot of really, really great, amazing things happening in your life. And I think that it would be great for you to nurture those things and focus on them. And you know what? This is a silly little tarot reading at the end of the day. If this doesn't, resonate with you, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I have some more clarifiers here. We have Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Death. 4 of Cups. And the Emperor. 3 of Swords on the bottom. Okay, so I do feel like there's a sense of being stuck in the past coming out again. This is a stubborn wound, and again, this wound has served you. The ego has served you in protecting you here, but this narrative that you're telling yourself is ready to die off so that you can experience true joy and happiness. But I think it's going to require you to let your guard down a little bit. It's going to require you to trust. It's going to require you to release control and surrender to the universe. And that is so, so scary, pile number 3. Like, I don't want to negate any of the hardship or suffering that you may be experiencing as this thing dies off, but there's going to be so much happiness that comes your way. Like, there is a rainbow waiting for you after the storm, and there's some like really beautiful stuff, but you have to release control, especially for other people in your life, especially if this is in your family, which I feel like there is, or close friends. You have to allow your role in that to die off. I think that's when you're going to see the most success here. And I apologize if I'm not handling things compassionately enough. Yeah, again, it's like, wait for people to come to you. Don't waste your power and your energy trying to fix other people's problems. There's a need to set boundaries here with yourself. And realize, where have you been allowing this process to keep you stuck in the past? Yeah, there's just a lot of fear and uncertainty that is clouding the situation. But Spirit's really wanting you to listen to yourself, listen to your intuition, to release fear and to connect to yourself. I really do feel like, you know, if some of you guys, if meditation's really hard, I completely understand that. A guided meditation may be helpful. A Reiki session may be helpful. Just going for a walk, stepping away from all the noise, just so that you can connect with your own inner world for a second. I think that's where you're going to find the most magic, and it's going to lead you out of this challenging time. I'm going to get one more card here. Okay. Well, we got two. So we got Page of Swords and Page of Wands in reverse and the Two of Swords. Yeah, I really feel like there's a powerful opportunity here for you to learn how to trust your intuition more. I do feel like the inner child is very activated here, and a lot of this is learning impulse control. How to shut off that primal sense of self and to listen to your own inner world and to follow where Spirit is guiding you. If you make decisions rooted in fear, you will attract more things to be fearful of. If you make decisions rooted in love, you will attract more things to love and to be peaceful for. So you've done so much work to get here. And this part, the reflection that these external circumstances are showing you, is the way forward. I love you very much, pile number 3, and I appreciate you for giving me your time and your energy. And I hope that you feel some kind of clarity in this message, and I hope that if it does resonate, I wish the best for you in the road ahead. Know that there's a really powerful gift of faith awaiting you if you do choose to follow this path. All right. I love you so much. Good luck. Bye. Hi, pile number 4. If you chose the orange aventurine or calcite stone, as well as the cosmic slumber tarot, this is your reading. Yes, Cosmic Slumber Tarot. Sorry about that fart in the beginning. We're going to start by going over your oracle cards to get an idea of some themes that will be taking place for you this Leo season. Sorry, I had to adjust the camera a little bit there. You, as well as pile number 3, got 2 oracle cards from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, which is what I kind of wanted to center this around. So 2. Very interesting. Then, so you got the Shaman and the Crone. Then you got the Risk with Saturn and Aries, as well as Saturn and Taurus with Ostination. You got Renewal. And Enlightenment. Sorry, I'm trying to get this as best as I can into the frame. And you got 2 of the Wealthy Woman cards. You got the Adventurer and you received the Wealthy Woman, which is very interesting considering it's the name of the deck, so that's got to be significant, huh? And then last but not least, Country Fair and Fruit Jam. I hope that you can see everything in here. I apologize if it's a little bit cramped. Okay. So, pile number 4. I feel as though you are going through this Leo season some kind of upgrade. I do feel like this is some type of spiritual achievement, or again, upgrade keeps coming through, rebirth, restart. Like, I feel like you're at the end of some really significant chapter in your life, especially whenever it comes to your spiritual journey. You may be undergoing some kind of spiritual awakening, as well as just a rebirth from one life to the next. It's interesting, you both got Saturn cards for the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, which Saturn is about lessons, but it's also about maturity. The Crone is a card that is the last of the maiden, or not the maidens, the triple moon goddesses, maiden, mother, crone. Crone is the last one, and as well as the shaman represents a completion of 3 things as well. I'm forgetting, but it is a completion card. So it seems like that there is some lesson that you have been learning for a very, very long time. Maybe you've devoted yourself to a certain study or a certain walk of life and are now graduating or transitioning to the next chapter here. With renewal and enlightenment, I really do feel like this is being highlighted there too. Renewal is all about rebirth and having a complete understanding for why everything had to happen the way that it did to get to where you are right now. With the Adventurer and Country Fair coming out, I feel like Spirit is calling you to reach for new horizons. I feel like you have everything you need to take this risk and step into this new chapter of your life. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be super easy, but I do feel like there's going to be this undeniable calling that this is the path forward for you. I feel like there's some kind of spiritual significance. It does seem like there's a work that you're being called to here with this Ostination card. It could also be that whatever you've been doing before, you have been overworking yourself. So there's this need to step outside of your comfort zone and to remove yourself so that you can continue to grow, and maybe the stability that you have cultivated so far, it has been on a physical level, but that is being reflected in by your internal stability as well. It seems like your world lens is changing. And it could be that nothing in your like external environment is actually changing at all, but your relationship to it is undergoing a very powerful transformation. I feel like you're stepping into a time of great leadership, and there's some kind of wisdom that you're obtaining, some kind of, maybe this is like an occult knowledge or just wisdom that I just heard a crazy scream from my neighbors. So maybe this is gonna come at some kind of shock or surprise. And it did seem like this was a scream of enjoyment, possibly. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that this isn't going to be free of fear, because with this risk card coming out, as well as the adventurer, we have these predators, but they're existing pretty closely together. So I feel like there's this merging with the wild side of yourself. Maybe some of you will be traveling. Or just opening yourself up to new experiences. This renewal card has both seasons, winter, spring or summer, being reflected on both sides, as well as the chakras, although this card is related to the root chakra and the enlightenment card is related to the solar plexus chakra. So I do feel like your relationship to the physical world is changing quite a bit, which makes sense for the shaman here. And with this fruit jam card coming out, it says, if you nurture it, it will flourish. The grass is greener where you water it. I'm really excited to get into your tarot because I feel like there's this mystery and magical pull that this Leo season is going to have for you, and I would love to get into it a little bit more. A lot of these cards are very elusive. However, I do feel like you are being initiated into some kind of new chapter, new phase of your life that it will be full of a lot of excitement, a lot of adventure, a lot of fun, but it's not going to be free of its challenges by any means. So also this Country Fair card does talk about stepping out to embrace new community. It says summon the strength to reach out and discover the unity of community around you. So maybe if some of you are kind of more isolated, like to stay in your own world, you're coming out of isolation, or you're just opening yourself up to more friends. So let's go ahead and put these cards to the side, and we will begin to pull from the tarot here. I feel like for some of you, there's a really big awakening whenever it comes to your intuition. Some of you could be receiving some kind of new gift, especially whenever it comes to your psychic development. Some of you could be entering like a mediumship. Okay. Spirits, angels, ancestors, within your highest good and healing only, within my pile number 4's highest good and healing only, please help me to deliver a message that is rooted in love, that is intuitively accurate and precise about this Leo season, as well as any guidance, themes that they may be facing. Okay. We have the Two of Swords. The Queen of Torches. Yeah, baby. The Five of Swords. And the Ten of Swords in reverse. That's interesting. Can I have a clarifier for the Two of Swords here? The King of Torches. Interesting. We got the Queen of Torches and the King of Torches, which is the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, and the OG Rider-Waite tarot. Can I have a clarifier for the Queen of Torches, please? We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Can I have a clarifier for the Five of Swords, please? Interesting. The Two of Cups. Huh. And the Ten of Swords in reverse. We have the Two of Torches in reverse. Can I have one card for the underlying energy of this reading? Maybe a major theme. Temperance. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I hope you can see everything here. Okay. All right. So, for some of you, I'm wondering if there is a healing that you will be experiencing in terms of your relationship to your community, your relationship to the other, again, and just like the world around you. I feel like you're going to be receiving tremendous healing, forgiveness, towards your relationship to humanity, community, and people. Now, with Leo season being on the Leo Aquarius axis, there's going to be an Aquarius full moon, I believe, on the 29th. And for that one, there are a lot of themes about your relationship to humanity, community, and what that is to you and what that isn't. I feel like for a lot of you, in terms of your spiritual beliefs, your worldview, your philosophy on life is becoming very important for you. I feel like whoever I'm speaking to is very devoted towards their spirituality. And it could be that you're working very hard to bridge the gap with anybody who you've had conflict with in the past. There may be opportunities for conflict resolution, for the absolving of trauma, of ways of the ego that used to serve you. And I feel like you're really connecting to what you love. You may be finding forgiveness in your heart for connections that may have had some painful endings. And I really feel like there's this beautiful and powerful transformation that you're undergoing right now. You're learning to lead with love in a way that you never have before, as well as just view the world in a more compassionate and loving place. Maybe in your pursuit of being a teacher or some kind of spiritual leader, there was a moral high ground that you could have put yourself onto. It certainly doesn't have to be that. But there's a recognizing of where maybe in the past you've been acting out of ways of woundedness as well as humanity has been acting out of ways of woundedness. You're realizing how powerful your actions are in the way that you lead, practicing what you preach, learning when not to engage with other people or maybe force ideologies down their throat. As well as to nurture your own cup. I feel like self-love is really important. Again, this message of the best way to be of service to others is to be of service to yourself. As above, so below. Some of you could practice manifestation, witchcraft, wizardry. We have 2, 2, and 2 here. So 2, 2, 2 may be significant for you guys. You may be a fire sign as well, especially Sagittarius with the Temperance coming out. Temperance is associated with the card Sagittarius, but I do feel like you're integrating a lot of wisdom right now. There's been a really profound change and transformation that you've undergone. Again, a lot of you guys could be spiritual teachers or leaders. Let's see if we can get a little bit more guidance. Oh, the sun! Yippee! Sorry. I'm not sorry. That brought me genuine childlike joy and wonder to see that card come out. The 10 of Cups in reverse. And the 9 of Swords. Can I get a clarifier for that, please? Thank you. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. 4 of Swords. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like you're also going back to like the self-love and finding a balance between the best way to be of service to others is by being of service to yourself first. Focusing on your path and your journey and just kind of seeing whoever follows you that way. Because I feel like you're very passionate about whatever it is that you lead in or practice, believe in. I feel like you're learning to work with your inner child much more. There could be going back to what I said in the oracle portion of like, you're realizing that every moment led you to this point, and there could be this radical authenticity that you're stepping into, a embracing of the entirety of your journey, allowing for the past to completely die and shut off. Maybe you've come from a very traumatic home life or have just been plagued with fear and trauma from the past or even in past lives. And you're learning to release that fear and to choose yourself, to choose rest over burnout, to listen to the things that light you up and to follow that more. This 2 of Pentacles card, I feel like is also going back to like maybe you're just very overworked and you know that you're meant for a new change in your life. It may be one that does require you to step outside of your comfort zone, and there may be a lot of fear here, but this is something that is worth trusting, and you can listen to yourself. This is like literally the card of fear and our fears and worries keeping us up at night. And then the 4 of Swords is mental rest and sleep. You may be entering a time of more rest, peace, and I apologize if any of you hear my neighbors. They're very excited about something. I feel like your guides are really cheering you on in some way, shape, or form. And for that, I don't apologize. I truly feel like everything happens for a reason, especially in these messages. This is a really, really big achievement. I feel like for the first time in your life, you're seeing all of yourself and you're learning how to make the universe work for you instead of you working for the universe. You're really taking your power back from narratives, limiting beliefs, past relationships, places, and things. I think you're learning how to say no to things that don't really pour into you the way that you pour into it, as well as being compassionate in how you decide to nurture yourself. For a lot of you, you're learning how to reparent yourself, and that's really, really beautiful. You're learning how to take up space and allow your light to shine. There is a self-acceptance that I think is bringing you a internal emotional stability, regardless of outside forces. I feel like you're learning how to choose you, no matter what anybody else says. And that's really, really beautiful, pile number 4. And that is not something to just brush off. This is something worth celebrating. I'm going to get a few more cards just for any final messages, final advice, guidance that Spirit may want to give to you for this upcoming Leo season. Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. 4 of Swords on the bottom still. That's funny. Okay, we got 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Hanged Man. Hanged One. The Emperor. 5 of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. Wow. Yeah, I feel like you are gaining a internal stability that no matter what happens in your outside circumstances, no matter what situation life throws into you, you are going to feel secure, safe, and stable. Your sense of self and self-trust is becoming so strong that no matter what, your worst day, you are going to feel loved, safe, secure, and trusted by yourself. The stability cannot be taken away from you because it is inside of you. You are healing any kind of insecurity, lack mindset, abundance blockages. For some of you, this is really about money too. Especially since we got that Wealthy Woman Oracle card. I feel called to read that, actually. It's literally the Wealthy Woman Oracle. And you got the card of the Wealthy Woman, which would be like the whole archetype of the deck. And now I just want to say, hey, there's a lot of Emperors, there's a lot of Kings here. You do not have to be a woman in order to receive this. It is just an archetype. Okay. So, it says, acknowledge your worth, trust in the inevitable flow of money. The wealthy woman is rich in ways that are too numerous to count. She is rich in love for herself. She knows her worth. She trusts in the inevitable flow of money. And because she trusts it so deeply, she feels wealthy at all times. It is because she feels wealthy that money flows to her, not the other way around. Before the money you desire can come to you, you must first become the woman who feels unconditionally wealthy. It is time to begin looking at the world through the eyes of the most abundant version of yourself. How does she act? What standards does she hold for herself to? What standards does she hold herself to? How does she carry herself? What does she no longer tolerate? What does she focus on? Release what does not align with the wealthy woman within you so that you can begin to call in what does. Yeah, I feel like there's just this, you're really keeping your standards high. You're not just allowing anybody into your circle, and it's not in a way of, oh, I'm better than you, or I think that you're less than, or whatever. It's truthfully, it's just about knowing what you want out of life, honoring your time, your energy, and knowing that you have an innate sense of value in you, and you're going to choose to invest in yourself as well as things that are in alignment with how you can be of service to humanity. And I think that that's really, really beautiful. Again, I think that there's this inner sense of stability that you're cultivating right now. I think that you know that you're worth protecting. Your energy is worth protecting, and how valuable your rest is just as much as the work that you put into the world. So I'm going to leave it at that. Good luck with everything, pile number 4s. Congratulations on all the inner work that you have accomplished. I feel like your guides are just screaming from the rooftops how proud and how just amazing you are. So I love you so much. Thank you for your time, your energy, and listening to my reading. I love what I do, so very grateful for everything that you give to me in return. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.